Good Monday evening. Thanks for joining us. So Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara is still new to the job here and new to the state of Minnesota. So when he made a visit to the Capitol in St. Paul today, you got to know he wasn't just there to introduce himself. Chief O'Hara was there to speak in support of legislation that would deal with a recent explosion of car thefts involving the Kia and Hyundai vehicles. We've talked about this so many times. What does he want to do? He wants to require the automakers to install anti-theft devices on models dating all the way back to 2013. And as we told you last week, this problem isn't unique to just Minneapolis or Minnesota. It's happening everywhere. So why does the chief of Minneapolis Police go to the Capitol to talk about it today, Kent?
Well, for one, Jana, it would be hard to find a city more impacted by this specific issue. In just 6 months, the city saw thefts of these cars jump 833%, and those cars were also linked to this list: 5 homicides, 13 shootings, 36 robberies, and 265 car accidents. In fact, the chief said today that he would be considering supporting even more legislation to address all of the fallout from this.
House File 1100 from Representative Tabke.
New legislation introduced at the Capitol doesn't mention Kia or Hyundai or even public safety. But make no mistake, the bill aims to address problems with all three through a change to consumer protection law.
It ensures that it's the auto manufacturers, not the consumer, not the state, not the insurance companies, that have to foot the bill for the mistake that they created.
And it has the support of Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara, because in Minneapolis alone, the problem is driving an 833% increase in car thefts. He says Minneapolis went from an average of 200 Kias and Hyundais stolen a year to more than 2,300 in just 6 months, following viral social media posts exposing security flaws. And he says the true impact goes far beyond those numbers.
This is something that literally young people are losing their lives over, getting seriously hurt, and becoming involved in more and more serious crime because of a lack of accountability over this issue.
Kia and Hyundai have announced software upgrades to make the cars harder to steal and say they're working to provide steering wheel locks to drivers of older models. But it's done little to slow down the problem locally. There were 30 thefts or attempted thefts in South Minneapolis alone during the last week of February. And the chief says the city's only received about 100 of the club-like locks so far.
That does not even cover the victims of theft that own Kias and Hyundais that have had their cars stolen more than once over the last 6 months. And that's obviously not enough.
And at this point, while he hopes the bill passes and recalls come, O'Hara says it alone won't be enough to address the underlying issues these repeated thefts have exposed.
These kids are involved multiple times now in these thefts, and the stuff is on social media, and that they're learning that there is no consequence. And I am afraid of what that will mean if this pattern continues over time as those kids get older. We need intensive services for these young people, particularly if these young people are not going to be held after police take them into custody. If they are immediately released back into the same environment with no support, no services, and mom is saying, I can't control this kid, that's a problem. I don't understand how we would expect a different result.
We asked Chief O'Hara if there's other legislation he might advocate for like this. He said he would support gun control legislation that is focused on addressing legally purchased guns that are then transferred to criminals via straw buyers. That's because he says evidence shows that the majority of guns used in crimes here were purchased right here in Minnesota. Jana.
Kent, this is coming when there's like a full court press in Minnesota on Hyundai and Kia. Last week, Mayors Frey and Carter and the Attorney General sent a letter saying this is on you. Why is it all happening right now? Is it because of the data you shared?
Yeah, the data and the fact that it's not slowing down, Jen. I mean, they are seeing it. He said it's still accounting for 60% of the thefts happening. This is after these companies say that they're addressing it. And again, this isn't just happening here, and there is pressure happening across the country, but they just want it to stop because of how far-reaching it all goes into all these other issues.
Yeah, one internet stolen car game turns into all the other things you talked about. Thanks so much, Ken.